Hey guys, welcome to a new series that'll make you go, yeah, that happened. Where I'll be telling you guys a story that happened to me. Or did it? Nah, these tales happened to me at some point. But what will you believe? We're gonna start off the first episode with a bang. Well, I guess. This story is probably the grossest thing you'll hear all day, and it's pretty much considered not safe for work. So plug in the headphones and get ready to be caught by your boss, cause I'm gonna tell you the story of that time I got turd burgled. A couple years ago, a massive hurricane came through my part of the country, and it knocked out the power for about a week. My entire block and the 3 blocks around me were completely without power, and it sucked. If you haven't noticed by now, I pretty much have my life on the internet. It didn't help that the fridge was out, so we risked having all the food go bad. We had no entertainment, well, nothing you can do in public. We had no showers, no AC, and, well, the toilets weren't gonna hold out for long. We have well water, and while that helps for a while, it'll run out eventually if we don't have electric. I think. I'm not exactly sure how it works, and by this point in time, I'm too embarrassed to ask. So, a rule was set into place that if you went number 1, you did not flush. If you went number 2, flush. Simple, effective, water-saving, and a little growth. A few days after the power had died out, the water was taking longer and longer to refill the toilet. It was day 6 without power. And I had to take a shit, because everybody poops. Sadly, both toilets were clean, and we were already low on water. 1 or 2 more flushes and the toilets wouldn't work. I decided to pull off the big girl pants and take a shit in the backyard. Don't give me that look, it seemed smart at the time. I could dig a hole, squat, and bury the turd. No one had to know, and I'd been camping before. I know how to poop in the woods. Out I went, into the jungle of my backyard, mosquitoes swarming, gnats flying, power still out for 3 blocks, and both of my dogs following me. If I left them inside, they'd both freak out wondering why I had left them alone. I had toilet paper in one hand, and a trowel in the other. I found a place under the deck, and started digging, right up against a support beam so I wouldn't fall. Nothing is worse than falling into your own shit. Before things go any further, I must inform you that you've all met my dogs before. Or at least, you've heard them before. If you sit through one of my blooper reels, you'll hear the glorious sound of a certain dog chewing on her own ass, or knocking stuff off the bed, or barking at nothing in particular. That dog is this dog, Angie. Angie is a good dog, but she has no mute button. And no shame. She is a counter-surfing, trash-digging, sock-eating, yard-escaping bitch. And I love her to pieces. You have no idea how much I love this fucking dog. The other dog is Sophie, who... Sophie's pretty well behaved, actually. She's easily excited, but this isn't really about her. This is about me shitting in a hole. Well, mostly. So, there I am, squatting over a hole, leaning against one of the deck support beams, and making sure that my drunk neighbor doesn't decide to look over the fence. Sophie is way off to my left, sniffing around and destroying a stick. That's her thing. Angie is a few feet away, just standing there, watching me. Not the worst thing in the world. I'd rather have Angie watch me shit than my neighbor. I finish, I waddle away, and I clean myself up. I had my back turned for maybe 5 seconds. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I cleaned up, turned around, and grabbed the trowel to bury the turd. But the turd was missing. I started thinking, oh boy, where did it go? Had I missed the hole somehow, and by some miracle it had rolled away in my completely flat yard? Had I even taken a shit? What the hell was going on? Where was the poop? Then, I looked over at my weird, lanky, crazy dog called Angie. She was still staring at me, but now she had something in her mouth. Something that was supposed to be in the hole. I had to handle this situation delicately, but delicacy is not my forte. Angie. I said her name the same way I do when she's been caught doing something she knows she's not supposed to do. Suddenly, Sophie, the big, brown, beautiful, bearded beastie that she is, came running through the yard wondering what we were doing without her. She's jealous. So she comes running over, and Angie gets startled. Sudden movement and all that. Angie looked over at Sophie, looked back at me, and I took a step forward. Angie swallowed. Yeah, that happened.